Executive communication. Percent versus PP versus BPS explained. Presenting to a board is a sprint, not a marathon. Time is tight, so be crisp and clear from the first sentence. Translate your numbers into plain language that any smart non-specialist can follow. Skip the buzzwords and acronyms. Your goal is fast comprehension that builds trust. They should grasp the result, the change, and why it happened in seconds. When you communicate with precision and simplicity, you signal control of the business and respect for their time. Let's turn complex data into clear, confident updates they can act on immediately. Confused by percent versus percentage points? Here's the key. Percent expresses a relative change. Percentage points, PP, express an absolute change between two percentages. Example: if conversion goes from 10% to 12%, the absolute move is plus 2 percentage points. The relative change is plus 20% because 2 is 20% of the original 10. Say, up 2 PP when comparing rates or ratios, and up 20% when describing how much bigger it is relative to the starting point. Using the right unit prevents misleading headlines. A basis point BP is finance's precision tool. 1 BP equals 0.01% equals 0.0001. Use BPS for small movements in rates, spreads, and margins where decimals can get messy. Saying up 35 bits per second instantly means a 0.35 percentage point move. It's cleaner than 0.35% up, which people might misread as a relative change. Examples: the interest rate increased 25 bits per second. Our net interest margin widened 40 bits per second. Credit spread tightened 15 bits per second. When shifts are small but important, BPS keep you sharp and unambiguous. Make every update follow the same rhythm. First, the headline number, the metric and current level so listeners know what we're talking about. Second, the direction and size of change with proper units, up, down, in percent, PP, or BPS. Third, the brief driver, the one reason that matters. For example, ARR is $42 million, up 8% QOQ, driven by enterprise upgrades. This structure helps boards process quickly, spot trends, and ask better questions. No build-up, no suspense, just the answer, the movement, and why. Use tight, unambiguous phrasing. Examples: revenue grew 8% year-over-year clearly states relative growth versus last year. Gross margin expanded 120 bits per second to 41%, gives the absolute change and the new level. Churn fell 0.6 pp to 3.2% monthly, shows a clean drop in absolute terms plus the current rate. Notice the pattern. Metric first, direction and magnitude with correct units, then the resulting level. These lines are easy to read out loud, easy to clip into minutes, and leave no room for misinterpretation. Stay consistent to stay credible. Don't mix percent and PP per bit per second in one claim. Pick the correct unit for the change you mean. Always say the unit every time you cite a change: percent, PP, or BPS. Avoid vague words like slight, tiny, or big. They waste time and invite debate. Instead, quantify down 30 bits per second, up 2 pp, or grew 6%. Also beware of implied math. If you say, margin improved 2%, do you mean 2 pp or 2% relative? Spell it out to keep the conversation focused. Polish your numbers for fast reading. Round sensibly. 1 decimal for percent levels. Whole numbers for BPS changes. Anchor changes to a clear baseline like YOY or QOQ, so everyone knows the comparison frame. Use consistent signposting, up/down for direction, and to/from for the new and old levels. Example: operating margin up 90 bits per second to 18.4% QOQ from 17.5%. This keeps slides clean, voiceover smooth, and Q&A focused on decisions, not on decoding your math. Remember the toolkit. Percent is relative, PP is absolute, and BPS keeps small rate moves precise. Speak with structure. Headline: right pointing arrow change, right pointing arrow cause. Be precise with units, consistent in format, and concise in wording. If a sentence could be misread, rewrite it. Aim for updates that a busy board can catch on first listen. Do that, and your numbers won't just inform, they'll persuade. Clear metrics, correct units, and crisp framing turn data into decisions,